Leslie joins us now with more on her findings. Her test subjects, Monique, Brooke, and Jennet, join us also in the audience. Welcome to all of you. Now, you did this study, and you were excited about it, so I am anxious to find out a little bit about what you found.
Yes. So I originally picked our test subjects because all of you have different diets, right? Monique has a normal diet, Brooke, you're a vegan, and Jennet, you don't eat red meat. So I wanted to see how the B12 injection would each affect you differently. It's been a few days. How are you all feeling? Let's start with you, Monique.
I feel amazing. I'm a new mom, and I noticed that the B12 gave me an extra boost of energy, which is perfect for keeping up with my daughter all day.
Great. And Brooke?
I felt a lot more energized. I feel like there's a little bit more pep in my step, and it's been a great enhancement to my own diet and regimen.
How about you, Jennet?
I feel amazing. My energy levels are definitely up, and I haven't needed that 2 o'clock nap that I normally take every day, so.
Fantastic.
Wow, give me some of that stuff.
Yeah, right? So we had your blood tested, and the reason that I had it tested was to see if you were actually B12 deficient in the first place. And we have some interesting findings. Monique, you aren't deficient at all. Brooke, you're a vegan, and you aren't deficient either. And Jennet, you don't eat red meat, and you are severely B12 deficient.
Really?
Yeah. Very interesting.
Well, and it's interesting because B12 is necessary. It's an absolutely essential vitamin, and if you do not have adequate levels, you need to supplement. And so it makes a lot of sense that you had this newfound energy because you were deficient. Now, what I also find interesting is the other element, which is why these injections can be so popular, even if theoretically your B12 level is normal. And that's where, may I say the word? Placebo effect comes into play.
Well, and that being said, I think it's important to understand that topping off your B12 doesn't help.
No.
I mean, if your B12 levels are normal and you get more and more, it's not going to like improve the system. So that's important to understand.
No, I mean, it's water soluble. So if you take that extra B12, you're just urinating it out. It's actually not stored in your system. But I think there may be even a bigger placebo effect sometimes because these are shots. So when you think about something going into the bloodstream, only 1.5 to about 15% of the population is actually deficient in B12, and much more common in people like you who avoid red meat. But actually really interesting that you're vegan and you didn't have an issue, because we worry about this much more in vegans and vegetarians, and certainly older people as well.
What's interesting is if you don't have your blood levels checked, it's not as though as a doctor, you're just gonna say, oh, I can tell by looking at you, Dr. Orden, that your B12 levels are low. The symptoms are so diverse, and so that's why if you think you might be low, you should get tested. If you're low, you should supplement. But that brings us to kind of the secondary part of your investigation.
Yes, because every place I called, none of them recommended that I get my blood tested first. They were just telling me to jump on the B12 bandwagon. You know what? I'll give you this shot. You'll feel instantly better, which we know isn't true because
energized.
It takes time to even get into your system if you are deficient. And I think the craziest claim out of all of these places is the weight loss. So now there's this new trend where it basically B12 can give you energy if you are deficient. And the thought is that if you get this energy, that you'll go to the gym more and work out harder. So it's a theoretical, flawed approach, I believe, to getting these injections in the first place. And then they're trying to sell you on boosters that they put in these B12 injections. You can leave there paying $150, $200 for a set of 5.
But very easy to buy into. And we were talking about the placebo effect, the fact that it's an injection, the fact that it's colorful, the fact just the way it looks make you think, oh, that's got to be doing something.
Well, let me ask you about
I think this is one of the most interesting trends Leslie found, though, so I definitely want to make sure we cover it, is the people trying to DIY this, correct?
So all over the internet, people they're obsessed with B12, so they're buying veterinarian grade B12 meant for livestock.
You see the cows on that?
Injecting it themselves, and the reviews are crazy. I felt better immediately. I do this every day. I inject myself. This stuff I got, it came in 2 days. It's so readily available, and you really don't know what you're putting in your body.
You don't end up mooing if you use this.
You might move, but you'll have a lot of energy, right?
Okay.